Joining us now to talk about DACA and a possible government shutdown is Republican Congressman Kinzinger. Congressman, thank you for joining us this morning. Polls show people the general public overwhelmingly supports these kids, these dreamers. Why not just do legislation and do a clean bill?
Well, I think we need to get this thing done. Now, here's the problem. There's got to be an understanding that in government, this is how grown-ups have to govern, which is Democrats are going to get something, and this is the DACA thing, which I support as well. But there's also going to be the president. Look, he ran and he won on the issue of border security. I'm also a massive supporter of border security as a guard pilot who's worked the border. So there's going to be some give and take. It's not going to be a perfect bill from a Republican perspective or a Democratic perspective. Negotiations are ongoing. I'm actually optimistic on this, but I think when it comes to overall immigration, we have to understand that we're just going to have to take kind of little bites at the apple, DACA on the one hand, the larger dreamer issues on the next hand, and then what to do with the others that are here illegally, as well as border security. I think it's going to be kind of a piece-by-piece issue versus just one massive bill.
Do you think President Trump's language has ratcheted this up and maybe, you know, taken it in a new direction? It seemed like everyone was sitting down at the table.
Yeah, it seems like there was some kind of, I don't know, influence on the president within the White House that he went from on Tuesday saying, I want to get this done, to on Thursday having a much more hardline language. Now, in terms of the language, look, the story's been going on for a week in terms of what the president did or didn't say. I put out a statement condemning the words and saying, look, we have to understand as a nation of immigrants, you know, that's not the language of the president. But I will say this, our senator, to not confront the president in the Oval Office, but instead walk out, call up the Washington Post because he made a mental note of what was said, and make this a big press story instead of confronting him at that moment is something he ought to answer, I think.
I think Lindsey Graham did confront him at that moment, saying that his ancestors had come from one of those S-hole countries. But I want to ask you, Congressman, where Republicans are trying to create this bigger tent that's more diverse, do you worry as a Republican that these things set the mainstream Republican Party back?
I do. I've been, spending a lot of time since I've been in Congress trying to say, hey, look, what is a conservative? It's just somebody that believes that a kid born in some of the most difficult parts of the country should have the same opportunity as a kid born in the best parts of the country. When we have language that seems exclusive, that pushes people away, that not just pushes minorities away from the Republican Party, it pushes folks that are my age and younger away. And so one of my biggest concerns is to say, look, the party of Ronald Reagan was an optimistic party. We have a tone of pessimism lately, both on the Republican and Democratic side. We live in a great country. Economy's doing great. I think we need to be the party that attracts people, that attracts folks in a big way.
Before we let you go, what do you think the odds of getting something done this week are? Are we going to avoid this government shutdown?
I'm hopeful. I'm less optimistic on this Friday's deadline than I was, 2 days before Christmas, because Christmas motivates people well. But my hope is that we can. Nobody benefits in a government shutdown, so we'll see.
Representative Adam Kinzinger, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Thank you, sir.